Hey guys, so for my next bet, I'm betting $200 money line on Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford. So far I've bet 200, but I might bet more. He's about a 2-1 favorite. So for this bet, it's an interesting one because, Crawford's thought of as one of the top pound-for-pound guys, and he's going to be fighting Canelo at 168 pounds. To me, the big red flag or the big, point of uncertainty in this fight is Crawford coming up all the way to 168. So Crawford's fought, most of his career at 147 and 140, and he's pretty dominant. And he had one fight at 154, and then now he's jumping up 2 weight. He didn't look great, and now he's jumping up 2 weight classes to 168 to fight Canelo. The other red flag too in this fight is Crawford's inactivity. Right, he hasn't really fought that much in the past few years. Whereas Canelo's fought, at least twice a year. And Canelo's been fighting at 168 for a while. I do think Crawford's a great fighter, but in my opinion, Canelo should be thought of as the number one pound-for-pound fighter. And the reason I say that is because when Canelo was undisputed champion at 168, a lot of people thought of him as the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And then he went up and he fought Bivol at 175 and he lost. And everyone was pretty much saying, well, the reason he lost to Bivol is because, it was too much weight and there's weight classes for a reason, and, he shouldn't have been fighting someone that much bigger than him. So pretty much most people were excusing his loss to Bivol, saying he was moving up too much in weight. But if the reason he lost to Bivol was because the weight was too much, well, then why did he lose his pound-for-pound ranking? And then since then he's moved back to 168 and he's kept winning all his fights at 168. So my point is just, if Canelo was the number one pound-for-pound fighter when he was undisputed at 168, and then he's still undisputed at 168, I don't see why he's all of a sudden considered number 7 or number 8 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I do have an issue with Canelo, though, and that is with how things went down with his fight against Bivol. I remember watching that fight, I kind of noticed that it seemed like maybe around round 10, where Canelo realized, things weren't going his way, and he was probably going to lose the fight the way it was going. And it seemed from my, in my opinion, in my view, it seemed like he kind of made that conscious decision that, okay, it's not going my way, I'm gonna, whatever, not get too embarrassed and kind of just take the loss, right? So it kind of seemed to me like he didn't go for the win. Look, if he did go for the win, maybe he got more embarrassed, maybe he got himself knocked down or knocked out, who knows? But my point is it seemed like he accepted the defeat by round 10 and fought by the beginning of round 10 and fought those last 3 rounds as if he was okay with losing. And it makes you wonder too, he had already lost to Canelo, so maybe the mentality, he didn't have that mentality of an undefeated fighter who won, to go out on his shield or whatever you want to call it. But it did surprise me that the way he kind of did lose to Bivol. And then I also thought since that fight, in my mind, it almost looks as if Canelo's been retired the past few years, because it seems like since that fight to Bivol, maybe he had that realization that, he's been boxing for so long, or he's really comfortable money-wise, and he's made so much money, he's been boxing for so long that maybe he just doesn't have it in him anymore to, go, in those, have those hardcore, high-intensity fights like the ones he had against Triple G and, whoever else. And I just got the sense that the past few years he's just been, fighting twice a year, fighting opponents that pretty much had no chance of beating him. So he's been taking easy fights for the past, I think, 3 years. The past 6 fights have all been pretty easy fights for him. So that kind of worries me, because I think to myself, people are saying, oh, well, Crawford, he just wants to get his payday and he's fighting Canelo, moving up 2 weight classes because, he's just going to get a big payday and retire. Yes, that could be true, but there's never been any proof that Crawford's been a guy that doesn't go for the win, right? Crawford's whole career, he's always been very intense in his fights. He's undefeated. He's always won, for the most part, convincingly. So, whereas Canelo has now had, that moment where, I don't want to call him a quitter or something, but he essentially had that moment where he, to me, it was a pretty big letdown what happened against Bivol. Canelo must have realized that he's no longer the fighter he used to be in terms of just intensity and what do you call it, hunger and all those things, right? It seems like Canelo, I don't know, don't know if it's burnout, or like I said, I don't know if it's burnout, or I don't know if it's because he made so much money. But to me, I got the sense he's not the same fighter. But I've also thought with Canelo, I do still think he must have a few great fights left in him. Especially, if he's going to keep fighting before he does retire. I can imagine Canelo still has a few fights left in him. And Canelo's always been, like the man. So anyway, so he has that fight against Crawford. So like I said, the way I kind of see it is that, there's a few red flags with Crawford. The main one being coming so high up in weight and in activity. I mean, another thing too is pretty much in the history of boxing, it's very rare someone jumps up a bunch of weight classes, fights the champion who's very comfortable in his weight class, and beats him. I mean, I guess a few examples of people, not failing at doing that come to mind, like, Kell Brook against Gennady Golovkin and things like that. And yes, obviously Crawford's not it's much better than Kell Brook, but look, I mean, at the time, Kell Brook was an undefeated fighter who looked pretty great. And, Crawford's an undefeated fighter who looks pretty great. They're both also 37. I think they're both 37. So the fact that both Canelo and Crawford are 37 also makes me think, I can't imagine Crawford doing something really unbelievable at this point in his career where he's going to, jump up 2 weight classes and defeat Canelo. And then another thing too, I mean, look, Canelo, I've always thought Canelo looks very comfortable at 168. Looks like it's his natural weight class. Does not look like anyone can really challenge him at that weight class. I don't know, it's just really like a lot to ask for from Crawford. And I mean, in general, when it comes to sports betting, you don't want to bet on somewhere where there's a lot of, uncertainty, right? I mean, look, like I said, Crawford's been inactive, and now he's jumping up. No, I mean, look, he's jumping up from 154 to 168, but he only had one fight at 154, so it's almost as if he's jumping up 3 weight classes, right? Going from 147 to 168. So anyways, I like the bet Canelo money line. I mean, I'm not as confident as I should be because I don't think Canelo's looked that great either, especially, since he kind of had that poor performance against Bivol, and since then, to me, he's kind of looked like a retired fighter who's just taking easy fights. So whatever, they both have question marks, but I'm always gonna pick the guy, in their natural weight class versus someone jumping up 2 weight classes. And then the other thing too is, in my mind too, I still think Canelo's the best fighter in the world. I mean, the only guy I could maybe say would be a better fighter, like pound for pound, than Canelo might be Usyk, right? But I mean, Usyk's had, in my view, has had such easy competition at heavyweight. I feel like there's no good heavyweight, so I'm not surprised that Usyk dominated the heavyweight division the way he has. But also, another thing to point out is, if you look at, a good thing, thing I was thinking of before is, when you look at guys who moved up weight classes and were successful, so the few that come to mind are Usyk and Andre Ward, is both of them took a long time to do it. Right, so I know Andre Ward had a bunch of tune-up fights at light heavyweight before he fought Kovalev, and then Usyk also, he took some time to go up to heavyweight. He had a few tune-up fights before he fought Joshua. So usually it takes a long time to move up weight like that. Whereas Crawford's had no tune-up fights, he's been inactive, and now he's just moving up 2 weight classes. Feels like almost out of nowhere to just fight Canelo. I mean, yeah, it's a big payday, and I do think it's an exciting fight, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure Crawford's going to bring his A game, so that should be interesting. And I think Canelo will bring his A game too, though. I don't know. I'm betting Canelo. I'm betting 200. I'm not betting much, but I might bet more. I could see myself betting more by the time the fight happens. So that's all for my sports pick. I guess there's a few other things I'd like to talk about. So I've been doing this YouTube channel, and recently I've been posting videos on me playing on Poker Stars, and I call it the poker hand of the day. And but it's frustrating because I just recently sometimes YouTube's been taking some of the videos down, or they've been putting like age restrictions on the videos. Now, just recently I got banned for a week from YouTube because they said my inappropriate content or something. So my plan going forward is to, I guess, make sure I put all my poker videos for adults only, and then I'm going to put a disclaimer in the title saying, disclaimer, do not gamble. And if they take down those videos, then I'll have to stop posting poker hands. I do kind of like posting the hands, and then one thing too, I only post hands that go to showdown, so I don't really mind it so much because I'm posting a hand that, look, if you were just in the lobby watching the table, you would see how the hand played out, and then obviously anyone at the table saw how the hand played out. So I don't feel like I'm giving up any information or anything, and yeah, I don't think I would ever post a hand where my cards aren't shown and now I'm like revealing it through a YouTube video. But I did show one hand which was from, I think it was from like 3 or 4 years ago, where I made a big bluff at 5'10", and I figured whatever, it was 4 years old. I don't even know if that reg who I bluffed is still around, so I didn't mind showing off the big all-in bluff that I made from like 4 years ago. But other than that, it's all been hands from recently, and they're only hands that go to showdown, so I don't mind so much showing them. But like, yeah, but also like I'm saying this with YouTube, saying, I don't understand. So they're saying like I'm like promoting gambling or something, which is why my like channel got banned for a week. But I've seen a ton of like poker videos on YouTube, so I don't understand how it works or what the deal is. But yeah, so right now, I don't know. I'll see if I can post them or not. And then I have, I'll go back to posting my chess videos. So for chess 2, been whatever. My mind have been successful at bullet chess getting 1700, but I only like to post videos where I'm at 1700 or higher, and I'm constantly, going back down to 1600 or 1620, 1630. So right now I think I'm at 1630, and I'll only post videos where I'm 1700 or higher for the bullet chess. And then also just in terms of what's been going on with me, so yeah, I mean, as of now, I've been playing online poker about 25 hours a week, and I've also been Ubering 25 hours a week. I haven't played any live poker in a few months though, so I was trying to play live poker, like live hold'em. First of all, Montreal is kind of a frustrating poker scene to grind, but I have been playing live hold'em, and the games do seem kind of good. But I've literally gone like, I don't know the exact number, but I think it might be 4-26. So 4 wins, 26 losses in my last 30 all-ins. Right, so the last 30 times I've been involved in all-ins, I've won 4, lost 26. And I know I've been favored more than I've been an underdog, so I probably should have gone, 16-14 instead of gone like 4-26. So I've just been running so far below EV in all-ins. It's been really frustrating to deal with, and it's made me not want to play live poker. And then this year, I keep taking breaks. Like this year, I played a lot live poker, and I was playing well, I felt, and like I say, printing EV, and I went 1-5 in all-in. So that's pretty frustrating, and it just made me want to stick to online and whatever. I mean, I don't mind Ubering too on the side. Like I've been doing, like I said, 25 hours a week of Uber, 25 hours a week of online. So whatever, I'm enjoying that. And also for online poker, I've been playing 1-2 mostly, but I'm looking to move up to 2-5 soon. I mean, I used to grind 2-5, so I'm looking forward to going back to 2-5. And I mean, look, in general with online poker, I think games are soft. I mean, I just constantly see even decent regs making pretty bad like plays that, are pretty tilted plays and things like that. And the one thing too, I've always thought with online poker, or poker in general, is, you can like maybe justify a bad play on the turn of the river, talk yourself into making a bad bluff or a bad bluff call or whatever it is, right? But when it comes to pre-flop, at this point in poker, pre-flop's pretty much been solved. So when I watch online poker, or watch other players at the table, and I see them making pretty horrendous pre-flop mistakes, to me it's just shocking, because I'm like, pre-flop is like known at this point. So if pros or good regs are making pre-flop mistakes, like to me that really just shows how tilted these guys are getting, and maybe how bad they are, or how whatever it is. It's just the fact that I see so many pre-flop mistakes out there, to me really emphasizes that online poker is soft. So yeah, hopefully I can start doing better with online poker and save up some money and grind the higher stakes. And if I can grind the higher stakes, then I believe I can hopefully make a lot at online poker again. So I guess that's all for this video. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to talk about. Not really, but yeah, like I said, to me also the thing with my YouTube channel is I would like to do this thing where I'm do the poker hand of the day, and pretty much every day I grind. At the end of my sessions, I go through my hand history. I just find whatever the biggest pot I won is, and I post it on YouTube. And so hopefully YouTube doesn't what's it called, keep giving me strikes and ban my channel for showing Poker Stars videos. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try and make sure I fix whatever needs to be fixed in like the YouTube settings, and then I'll also put disclaimers on all my videos, so hopefully that'll make it fine. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, anyways, I guess the main thing with the video, I'm betting Canelo money line. The fight is in September. I think it's September 12th. But yeah, Canelo money line. I think it's a good bet. I'm betting $200 so far, and hopefully I'll end up betting more. I'll let you guys know in the comments. All right, that's all. Have fun, everyone, and all right, see you guys. Bye.